Hello all and welcome back to my Darkseed 2 guide read. The guide is of course by Leanne Morris. Today I'm going to tackle Chapter 12, A Rough Whimper of Insanity. It's a fantastic title. Just a reminder, like the last video, I'm adding my logo as a visual indicator for when I go off script. Let's get started. Things don't improve outside Dr. Sims's office. An FBI agent named Gannon accosts Mike to question him for murder.
I'll ask the questions, Dawson. I'm the cop. You're the suspect. Got it?
Just in case Mike didn't realize he was playing bad cop instead of good cop. The situation goes from bad to worse when Gannon brings up Mike's medical record.
Enough to know that you're nutty as a fruitcake. We've seen your psychiatric reports, Dawson. They have psycho written all over them.
Mike tries to explain the dark world, but Gannon tells him to save it for the insanity plea. He accuses Mike of killing Rita and the mayor. Gannon continues his inquisition. What's that about a letter incriminating Jimmy and Melissa? No one cares if Sheriff Butler has it, he's off the case. Besides, Doc Larson says Jimmy was in the hospital recovering from a fistfight when Mayor Fleming was killed. Mike the psycho. No wonder Rita dumped him. Mike flies into a rage, charging Larson with lying.
I loved Rita. I didn't touch her.
Oh yeah? It sure sounds like everyone else did.
Gannon counters.
She dressed up in leather for the mayor. She was doing the nasty with Doc Larson. But nothing for poor Mike. Makes you mad enough to kill, doesn't it?
Evidently, it practically does. Mike lays Gannon low with one blow. Realizing what he's done, he sets off for home. Jack leaves. The news at home isn't good either. While Mike's waiting for Jack, he goes inside to speak to his mother. He's in real trouble, he tells her. And by the way, is she missing some steak knives? As a matter of fact, a set disappeared about a week ago, his mom says. Disconcerted, Mike asks if she realizes the flowers by the front stoop are dying. The evil of the dark world is seeping through his doorstep. I'm going to pause it right here. Check out the link in the description for what I think is actually happening to those flowers. Also, quick shout out to Solanda for pointing out an interesting fact about those flowers outside of Mike's mom's house. Apparently, the flowers don't wilt until Mike visits the Dark World version of his house. Anyway, moving on. Mike takes a seat on the porch, next to the flowers that are in full bloom. Wait, that doesn't make sense. I'm going to go back real quick. And, death becomes him. I'm looking for... you know what? I don't think the author ever visited Mike's Dark World house. I don't think. Anyway, I don't need to prolong this any more than I am. So that's interesting. Maybe we can talk about that at the end. Jack reacts to Mike's trouble in typical tough guy fashion.
Smart move, Ace. Why'd you do that?
He tells him. He doesn't blame Mike for getting angry at Gannon and admits the thought of Rita with Doc Larson or Mayor Fleming would drive him nuts too, if he were dating her. Which I don't want to necessarily spoil the game in case you haven't played it. Of course, if you haven't played it, I don't know why you're watching these videos, but you never know. Jack might have been dating Rita too. Anyway. The news of Mayor Fleming's decapitation surprises Jack, and he's upset when Mike reveals that Jimmy was in the hospital at the time. But when Mike starts accusing Paul of complicity, Jack tells him he's losing control. Mike needs to resign himself to being arrested and start preparing for a trial. Jack will even be a character witness, but for now, he's outlived his usefulness. He leaves Mike sitting on the bench and rides off on his motorcycle. And what a scene that is. Turn out the lights. Mike realizes his only chance is to finish his Dark World mission and hope that the shapeshifter is killed along with the behemoth. He can turn off the power in most of the Dark World now, so he sets off for that other plane. He's torn by the image that awaits him. As much as he despised Doc Larson, the fact that the guy's head is now part of the power generator means that time has almost run out. The behemoth is almost ready to be unleashed on the normal world. Hoping for a few words of encouragement, Mike goes to see the Keeper of the Scrolls. She has nothing new to say to him, so he's officially on his own. The two plush animals transform into those fetal tadpoles when Mike crosses over, and they fit snugly into the two power machines. Both come to full stops, and the power grid maps go blank. The Hall of Justice is his first stop. The room is now empty, and the cabinet in the back is no longer locked. Inside are the Scrolls of Wisdom. Mike is now 2/3 of the way through his mission. Mike ignores the Hall of Troopers because it's still empty, but he can now open the electronic door in the Hall of Death if he wants to. This door is a one-way ticket to the Death Chamber where he found the data card. And once you're in, you can't come out with a little side trip to the underworld. Goth is still hanging on, but he says he expects to die at any time. The bartender, unfortunately, is still dead. Next, Mike goes to the locked building next to the weaponry shop. He recognizes the room inside from his last nightmare in Dr. Sims's office. And he now sees that it is the design room from the original Darkseed as well. A couch rests along one wall, and a long desk takes up most of the room's center. A capsule-like chair is next to the desk. A clawed tool lies on the desk. It's the cranial wrench used to open Mike's head and implant the embryo in Darkseed. He adds the cranial wrench to his inventory, but he's getting a very bad feeling about all this. A little lightheaded, Mike's tempted to sit down, but both the chair and the couch make him feel uneasy. A final item in the room makes him even queasier. Plans on the desk show the Ancient's attempt to hatch an embryo in his skull. He hasn't been dreaming or delusional. The attack really happened. Dun, dun, dun. That was the end of the chapter. Also, because the author wrote that the attack actually happened, I feel obligated to say check out the link in the description. Alright, in this chapter, Mike has added the scrolls and a cranial wrench to his inventory. He's met, and how, FBI Agent Gannon. I'm going to go back to the beginning of the chapter real quick. First image here. Signs that Mike is unraveling are obvious. A rational man just doesn't haul off and punch an FBI agent. Alright, next up is the shooting gallery. Mike's ready to open more locked doors when the power machines grind to a halt. And also on this page, the Scrolls of Justice are easy pickings in an empty room with no electricity. Yes, they are. And last but not least, drawings found in the design room show the Ancient's early plan to force an alien embryo into Mike's brain. And there you have it. That was a really short chapter. I think the next one might be short too. Same with the final chapter. It's only 2 more chapters after this. Holy hell. I do want to scroll back though, because I think that's really interesting that the author here didn't go to Mike's house. I thought that she mentioned it, but maybe she just mentioned it and didn't go. Let's see. So I'm on chapter 9. Looking through. I'm not seeing it. Maybe she didn't. Huh. Let me go back up to chapter 8. Let's see. Okay. Exploded, blah, blah, blah. I guess she just mentions Mike's house. Because I remember I used footage of Mike's Dark World house in one of the videos. Maybe that was just me using it, though. Interesting. Okay, well, yeah, it's an interesting factoid that those flowers outside Mike's normal world house don't die until you visit the Dark World version of Mike's house. That's a neat little tidbit that I didn't know until recently. Well, in any case, I hope you enjoyed this video and maybe got a laugh or two. As always, thank you for watching. Hey y'all, a beta version demo of my game, Tales of Hyperia the Crimson Knight, is available to play over at my itch.io page. The link is down in the description. The final demo version is set to release by the end of the year, and will see massive improvements and upscaling. Make sure you stay tuned for updates.